Jen, such an extraordinary interview with someone
Yeah.
who I know, like me, as I've read the book, I know those rooms. I know the White House Chief of Staff's office. I know the fireplace. I know where her desk would be. You know it better than I do. These places are very vivid to you. What did you get from Rachel's interview tonight?
Well, it's so much, but I do think what you just said, Lawrence, is so important for people to understand in terms of her access as they're reading this book and hearing her do interviews. I mean, the Chief of Staff's office in the White House is next to the Vice President of the United States office. It is down the hall from the Oval Office. And the Chief of Staff, there is no one in the White House who has more access and greater knowledge of what the President is up to or thinking than the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff to the Chief of Staff, which is a very funny name, but every White House seems to use it, is a person who has a great deal of access, responsibility, sees, hears, learns everything. I haven't read the book yet because it's coming out tomorrow, but I suspect she has a lot of, and we saw this in Rachel's interview, a lot of stories, saw a lot during her time. You know, watching Rachel's interview, and like you, I was just stuck to the television, just hearing what she had to say. I was struck certainly by her poise. She's a 27-year-old woman. She was even younger when she was in the White House in a very important role. And what stuck to me, and I wrote this down as a little bit of a paraphrase because I left my exact notes downstairs, is he wants to do it again. You know, she has a reason. She has a reason why she is speaking out, why she spoke to the January 6th committee, why she, wrote this book in part, why she is doing these interviews. She wants people to hear and understand this is not in the past. He could do this again. He wants to do this again. There was a lot, but that is something I immediately wrote down during the interview.
I think we have that on video. Let's take a look at that.
Bringing it back to next year's election, these people very well could be in power again. And do we want people who have already shown that they're willing and want to overthrow an election, for a duly elected president, which is the pinnacle of our democracy? Do we want to put people like that back in power? Do we want to put people back in power that have mishandled and have been showed to mishandle the most sensitive national security secrets that our nation has? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves.
Jen, I was struck by another part of the interview where Mark Meadows has now put out a written statement trying to counter the book, but it's kind of weak. And he's saying, oh, she doesn't provide context, and some of it is just completely wrong. Let's listen to what she said in response to Mark Meadows challenging her credibility.
In terms of his statement, I would encourage him to go testify under oath if he thinks that what is in the book and what I have testified to under oath, which is consistent with what is in the book, he can go testify under oath if he has strong feelings about that.
Jen, if you're Mark Meadows, criminal defense lawyer in Georgia, you're very worried about this person who you just saw on Rachel's show.
Yes, you are, because that person who you just saw on Rachel's show and just wrote a book and is talking to you tomorrow night has a lot to say about what Mark Meadows saw, what he advised, what he was a part of. She was there for everything. And as Mark Meadows is facing his own indictment in Georgia, still trying to move the venue, as we know, Lawrence, she's a key voice here in kind of putting together for prosecutors exactly what he knew and what role he played.